Hello friends, this is Fahad from Game Code Bytes. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how to build a health bar component using JavaScript. Health bar component can be used a lot in video games, where you play a game and then you have a health bar, and then once you take a damage, you will see the updated health reflected into your health bar. And also when you play an online game, you're playing with other players and you take a damage or you damage another player, and immediately we'll see the updated health reflected on your health bar or other player's health bar. So let's get started. As I usually do in other tutorials, I like to create the boilerplate so you don't have to watch me create the main files and the folder and things like that. So we have three files: index.html, index.js, and style.css within a folder called health bar. The index.html, just a basic HTML file, and I created a canvas element with an ID of canvas, and I have a reference to the JavaScript file, which is the index.js, and I have a style.css, which is some simple styles for the body and the canvas. And last is the index.js file, which is going to be the main JavaScript file that will hold the logic for the health bar. Now let's create some separation. Instead of putting the health bar function or the health bar class within the same index.js file, let's put it in a different file, and we just call it health bar. So I'll create a file, and I'm just going to call it healthbar.js. And also we need to reference this file in the index.html. So I'm going to call it here healthbar.js. Good. Now let's go back to the healthbar.js and create a class called healthbar. This is going to accept some values. So where do you want to put it? On the x-axis, the y-axis, the width, height, and the max health, and also the color. Then we need to say this dot x equals x, this dot y equals y. Same goes for the width and for the height. And also max width is going to equal this dot width. It doesn't matter, we can even use this. And also we can create a health value and set it to max health, and last the color. Now let's create a render function so that every time we need to show the health bar, we just call render, or maybe show. And then this show requires the context, so we can use this context to draw on the canvas. Now here we'll say context dot stroke style equals, for example, this value, and context dot line width equals 5. And I'm going to use stroke style and stroke rect so we can draw some borders around the health bar itself. And then we'll say context dot fill style equals this dot color. We can put this like this, and then we'll say context dot fill rect this dot x, this dot y, and the width and the height. Now the context dot stroke rect is going to be the border for the health bar, so we are not going to play with its width when we update the width of the health bar. So this is going to be this dot x, this dot y, and this dot max width, and the same height. Let's make sure we don't have errors and we don't have Now, before we continue with this, let's go back to the index.js and create a new object of the health bar. So I'll say const health bar equals a new health bar, and I'm going to pass its x position, let's say 20, 20, and let's say its width 200 or maybe 50 for now, and also the height, and let's say the height is going to be 30, and the color is going to be green. Now, of course, if we run this, we will not be able to see anything because we need to create the frame function, and then within this frame function we will request the animation frame and call itself again. Now also I can separate this, I can separate the renderer into another function, but let's just keep everything in the frame for this example. And here I'll say context.clear rect 0, 0. It's going to be the width and the height. And then we can just say health bar dot show, and we need to pass the context. Now we need also to call the frame function here. So let's run it. We're not able to see anything, and that's because health is not defined. Yes, we need to pass the health value, and I would say the max health value. Let's say 100. Index.js 8. Oh, this is not called health. This is health bar. Okay, good. Now, before we continue, I would like to clean up some of those values just to make it more clear and readable for the people who's watching this video. So I'll say let health equals 100, and then health bar width equals, let's say 200 for now. Let's change it. And then health bar height is going to be 30. And also let's calculate the mid x and mid y and put the health bar in the middle of the screen. So I'll say width divided by 2 minus health bar width divided by 2. And same goes for the y-axis. This is going to be height. It's going to be height. And then I think that should be it. We just need to pass those values. So here it's going to be x. Here's going to be y. And this is going to be the health bar width. And this is the height. And we can just pass the health, which is going to be 100. And it's in the middle. I'll go back in to the health bar JS and increase the border a little bit. Maybe 8. Actually, it's not. Oh, this is not line width. This is line width. Okay, let's put this back to 5. Or maybe 4. Good. Now, a half-minute pause just to explain those values I passed to the health bar. Now, health 100, that means this is the maximum health. It will not go over 100. And the width, which is the exact width in pixel, the exact desired width for the health bar. And the height, just the height. And I just pass the x and y so I can put it in the middle of the screen. Now let's go to the health bar, and I want to create a function or a method called update health. And now I need to pass the new value for the health. Now we're going to say this dot health equals value. We just updated the health of the health bar based on the health of the game. Next, we need to, let's say, calculate the new width for the health bar. Now the new width is going to be like this. This dot width equals this dot health divided by this dot max health multiplied by this dot max width. and that should be it. Now, to test this out, let's go back to the index.js and let's just listen for the click on the canvas, for the click event on the canvas. So every time we click on the canvas, we want to update the health for the health bar. So I'll say canvas.on click equals function. And here I'll say health minus 10. And then I'll say update. I'm sorry, it's going to be health bar dot update health, and we'll pass the new health. Let's test this out. And it's working perfectly. Now, if you think about it, the maximum health was 100. So that means we need to reduce this 10 times to get to 0. So let's test this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is correct. Now, if we put this to 20, that means we need to click 5 times to reduce the health to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the width of the health bar doesn't care about the maximum health, the maximum value for the health. So that means if I change this width to 100, we still have to click this 5 times to get to 0. Let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now let's try to put the width to 300, and we still have to click it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if we change this to 50, that means we need to click this 2 times to reduce the health. 1, 2. Perfect. Let's get this back to 200 maybe. And another note is that also if I change the health to, let's say, 50, it still should work. Now, when I click this, let's say 25, we will reduce this to, every time we click, we will reduce 25. Now the 100% of this is going to be 200, which is the width of the health bar, and the 100% of the health is going to be 50. So we need to click this 2 times, 25, 25. Perfect. Let's get this back to 100. Now everything looks good, but there's a glitch. If I click on this, now we need 10 times, we need to click on the canvas 10 times to get this to 0. Now this is going to be 10, but if I click the 11th time, it will go to the other side, and that's because the value of the health now is a negative number. So we need to fix this. So in the update health, we'll say if value greater than or equals 0, then do this. Let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I keep clicking, nothing's going to happen. And this is perfect. And you can also go another step and make sure no one's going to pass a negative value or 0, whatever, into the health bar. And there's so much optimization opportunities in this system. So feel free to do that. As you can see, there are a lot of things you can optimize in this system. For example, instead of clicking it like this way and you just reduce it immediately, you can create some sort of an animation to transition from one state into another state. For example, here, let's say it's 50%, for example, and once you click, you remove 40% of it, then you need to smoothly transition into this state, which is the 10% health. And that's all doable. All right, friends, this is going to be the end of the health bar component with JavaScript. If you like this one, subscribe to my channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and also stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys for watching. This is Fahad from Game Code Bytes.